There's none in Discord, but I did a Q&A.
So I got a question for you guys. Have either of you ever like gotten into shaving with a straight razor?
Like on my
like
face?
doing it myself?
Yes.
No.
No. Like
No.
the pirate one? That was the first time I ever saw that was Peter Pan.
Oh yeah.
That's the first time I ever saw that
I got really
process.
into like Reservoir Dogs, and like I've wanted one as like a pocket knife, almost like a weapon, just to have,
Yeah.
but never did.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
So you
do
can-
look cool.
Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah, they look cool.
There's one of the guys in that. Isn't like the bad guy has
Yeah,
one,
that
carries one?
Jerry Rafferty song
Yeah.
playing in the background.
Yeah.
It cuts the cop's ear off.
Yeah,
Does Joker rock one? I feel like it's a Joker style weapon.
maybe
Maybe the cartoon.
could.
I think he just had a regular knife in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, he had a regular
but,
knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's
Dark
a Joker
Knight.
style weapon.
That's considered a 10 out of 10 movie on that list. You guys see those lists that pop up on Instagram? Like,
No.
like 5 10 out of 10 or
Yeah.
10 out of 10 movies.
The Joker's one.
And Dark Knight
Yeah.
is one of them.
Yeah, I had this conversation with Sam, my son, the other day, and he was like, "No, Batman Begins is a better movie because it actually makes sense from beginning to end. The third act of Dark Knight doesn't make any sense at all." It's like, yeah, okay, maybe that's true, but it's such a fucking good movie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I could just watch that movie nearly every day.
What doesn't make sense though about Dark Knight?
Because
It doesn't flow from Begins.
yeah, and Joker's plan never makes any sense, and
Is that maybe part of it though, right? Because he's insane.
maybe, but
I mean,
like,
that's the whole idea is that he's out.
Nolan
of
is always one step ahead.
that too.
Yeah.
But the whole Joker thing is that he's mentally deranged, so you can't like know what he's thinking.
does he want to kill Batman or does he not want to kill Batman? Because he says, "I kill the Bat" at some point, and then he also says, "You can't exist without me, and I can't exist without you." That's not a direct quote,
Yeah.
but the same. Like
yeah. That
good-
sounds like insane person.
good needs evil, and evil needs good.
It's just such a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
I
such
think
a
we
good
can look
movie.
past it.
Yeah, but anyway,
Begins, I don't know, man. I never got into Begins. I watched it like twice.
I liked it. I liked them all.
I've seen
I like
it
the
a bunch
Bane
of
one.
times,
I like
yeah.
them all.
They try and tie it in at the very beginning with the little meetup in the driving parking lot, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's
Anyway,
it.
anyway,
No,
I
I never shaved with a straight razor, but my barber does.
I did. Yes, he did. Yeah, we have the same barber. Yes, I bought one about like $12 with the changeable blades
Yeah.
off of Amazon, thinking that because I always just wanted to fucking try it. And the first time that I messed with it, I was freaked the fuck out the whole time. I was sure I was gonna like cut my carotid artery or something and just die. In the
Yeah, so you know.
Yeah.
I'm good.
yeah. And then, like the next time I picked it up, I suddenly knew what I was doing. Now, like
now you're Sweeney Todd.
yeah, my neck is an issue because it's uneven and I'm old and stuff, and so it's hard to really get a smooth like whatever. But up here, that's not a problem at all.
You got the leather belt. to
I just
sharpen
got
it?
the changeable blades. I have one of those. Actually, I have my dad's.
Really?
From forever ago.
That's
yeah.
funny.
But to me, that was a little bit of a metaphor for the Shaun White thing with like he gets on a skateboard and like he's awkward, 4 tries and suddenly he's amazing.
Yeah.
And like amazing.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
say with a snowboard too, right? He says the last to pick it up as a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's just like jamming
This
in
isn't
4
that natural.
runs.
If you're good at skateboarding, the transition to snowboarding is like, oh, this is easier than skateboarding.
Yeah, same shit.
And then
Yeah, I
surfing
suck
too.
at
He
both.
also surfed.
Yeah, and he's a surfer.
Surf and feel different? Do you surf? I know you skateboard
I always
and snowboard.
wanted to surf, but never did.
Yeah.
Like I've done it, but like I never was like a surfer.
Yeah.
I've done it maybe 5 times.
you
Gotten
never-
up, probably got up only the last time. You know
you
what
never
I mean?
like grinded it.
No,
Wakeboarding?
no.
I feel like actually Sacramento, and he mentions Mount Hood. Do we know where he's from? Is he from like Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, or some shit?
I thought they were from
No,
down
I
south.
thought they
San
were-
Diego.
Because he mentioned Mount
Yeah,
Hood.
San Diego. Yeah,
San Diego. Because he
Yeah.
mentions Mount Hood a lot, which I was just talking to my buddy, and I guess Mount Hood is one of the very few, if not the only, main snowboard area that's open year round. So it makes sense. Because obviously there's Tahoe and Big Bear if he's from San Diego that are much closer.
Yeah.
But if they're only open for 3-4 seasons or
Yep,
months,
yep.
it makes sense to go up to Mount Hood because it's not that far.
It
Which
seems,
is
go on.
no. Yeah, that's all I really had. But the savant thing is interesting because I feel like that's a rare we talked about in the past episode, even Mahomes being good at quarterback from junior year is less rare, I feel like, than literally hopping on a skateboard and flying off a ramp when you're 4.
Yeah.
Like, that's real savant shit.
A lot of people don't realize that he was just like, I mean, he won gold medals at X Games in vert.
And started there, right? The
That's
footage, he's fucking like 12 and Tony Hawk's 23 and they're hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just randomly get to hang out with Tony Hawk unless you can throw down.
Yeah, those were like in like I think those Vulcan videos, like that he was in. Like, those Bam was there too.
Yeah. Everyone's skating and they said he's never. And the other interesting thing, which makes it even more savant-y, is because like one definition of being a good athlete is being able to see something and replicate it with your body, whether that's hand-eye or body control or whatever it might be. You watch Michael Jordan do a certain crossover. If you have enough basketball skill, you can go do that same crossover. They said he never watched a skate video till Tony Hawk made him watch one that he was in. So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, and obviously he's skating with other people, so he could pick up that.
Yeah.
But that's so savant-y to like, and the amount of like tricks he made up or invented.
Yeah.
Like that's really some kind of like, you know, Mozart fucking brain power.
The Last Run is the name.
That's
Maybe.
Run, yeah.
What is
Shaun,
it?
Shaun
Yeah.
White, The Last Run.
Yeah, I think I dove into an episode and a half, maybe 2.
I got through the first one.
I only watched the first one myself.
There's 4 total.
Yeah, I think I might have dug into 2.
Yeah. The whole family stuff, kind of how it starts off, right? It was like his backstory to his family. Also like the heart condition stuff too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I'm
crazy.
Like I'm really familiar with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
interesting.
childhood stuff's crazy.
Yeah.
What's crazy is like you can turn around and then be the best athlete in the world.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like Tommy John surgery. They made his heart perfect, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, a lot of heart conditions that people are born with are usually just like kind of more repairs.
Yeah.
Like plumbing repairs than congenital where like they like stick around.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not
A
like
lot of the
weak.
stuff he had,
Pipes just weird.
Yeah, that was just like wired the wrong way.
Yeah.
Someone put the wrong pipe on the wrong valve kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
with my son, he had 2 open heart surgeries in his first like 2 weeks of being alive.
That's
So like I
crazy.
dealt with like basically like those pictures.
Yeah.
Like I've seen all that like I've been through all that. And I was like, and I knew about his heart stuff because he's talked about it in the older documentaries and other random things. And like, so that stuff for me was like really interesting and cool. And like seeing like, you know, him thriving with that stuff. That was really.
Did you grow up a Shaun White fan?
Yeah. Oh, big time. Like I was talking about like history with like skating, and obviously like I skated all my youth and even in my adult life, and then snowboarding was always there too. Like I almost moved to Tahoe at one point.
Yeah.
And
It's such a NorCal thing, I feel like, to skateboard, snowboard, and wakeboard.
yeah,
those
I
are-
didn't get the wakeboarding train. My
Because you need a
friends-
boat.
My friends that I hung out with, like parents didn't have boats.
Yeah.
Like
You need a
my
boat.
group of friends.
Yeah,
didn't.
because there's Folsom Lake, which historically is great for wakeboarding and boating, and then even the rivers. I never got into it, but all my buddies did, and we had some friends with boats, so I like grew up on boats. Although, like for one, because of basketball, I was so into it, I never want to get injured, and I snowboarded once, and I never got injured, but you're catching yourself on your first day because you're eating shit, and then my wrist was hurt, and I couldn't shoot for a week. I'm like, wow, fuck this, I'm not going to do that in the middle of the season. And then two, like I'm by no means savant-y like these motherfuckers, but just from an early age, I could dribble basketball like no one else could, you know? And so, like, the exact opposite felt on a board. Because every kid skateboarded, you know, because Tony Hawk was blowing up. So 4th and 5th grade, I could get around. I could schmob, but I'm not doing kick flips. Like, some of that didn't come easy to me at all, although I was probably better. Like, you're good. I've seen you. Like, you can skate. I couldn't do any of that. But for the average 4th grader, I could move.
Yeah, for sure.
But nothing like clicked.
Yeah.
It wasn't always like I had fun, but it's not like, damn, I'm good at this. Let's get better.
it was just one of those things. Like skateboarding takes 4 or 5 hours a day of dedication.
Yeah, just reps and reps
to learn. It's just like it's such a it's like the most grindiest like sport, like one of the most grindiest sports there is. It takes it's like golf, right?
Yep.
You got to
Yeah.
practice all day, every single day.
That was the
Except on
biggest thing that popped to me about snowboarding, because obviously I know, but I'm such a casual fan. I'd watch the games or whatever, but how grindy it probably is, and the magnitude of the grind's obviously different. Like, hitting golf balls, yeah, your back gets sore, you get a little sweaty. But hitting fucking triple backflips into a foam pit,
Yeah.
walking back up and doing 1,000 of those is much more difficult than me putting a ball on a tee 1,000 times.
Yeah.
like about senior year of high school and junior year of high school is like where I started losing interest in like baseball. And even though I was like naturally just like not naturally, I was naturally good, but also like I've been playing for so long at that point too. Like I was good in high school, but I just started falling in more and more out of that and getting really into the snowboarding and like wanting to do that. And we weren't allowed to snowboard in JV or varsity baseball, and like I would still go, and I'd have to try to get in trouble if like and stuff like that, and just didn't care, at all about repercussions of it. But I was really into snowboard. We actually ran into me and my buddy Victor and my buddy Eric ran into Shaun at North Star.
Oh, that's sick.
And he was at the pipes. This is around the Olympic time, Sochi.
Yeah.
Like this is around 2006. So like he must have been training for that thing when we saw him, because we went down there.
Was he pretty famous by then?
Oh yeah, he was huge by then. So we go down there and we literally like, there's like one guy with a tripod with a camera, and they're at the pipe. No one really rides the pipe except for like it's a very niche thing, even in snowboarding, like the riding the half pipe. Like not many people.
Most people
we
just
all
go
ride
down
the
the
park.
hill.
We go down the park and like do the grinding and like the jumps and stuff. But the park, like the half pipe stuff, you don't just see like people who aren't going there and just like riding in the half pipe.
Harder?
Oh my god, it's like a whole thing. It's like, yeah, I skateboard, but like you couldn't get me on a vert ramp. It's the same thing. Like it's just like there's like Tony Hawk isn't going to go in a street video. You know, like it's not. Anyway, so like we go down there and we just start talking to him. He's just like the fucking most chill dude. My buddy Victor ends up going up. He's like, "Oh, you guys want to go? Like, want to go on want to go ride down on the park?" And it's like my buddy Victor went with him, and they just fucking rode together. Like it was like a normal dude.
Yeah, that's sick.
It was pretty awesome. Just talking with him, anyways, and it was pleasant. And he had this fucking long hair. You know, it was
the look for sure branded him.
Yeah, and I remember asking him about like those face masks he always wore, and he's like, "Oh yeah, dude, these are just t-shirts." He would just rip off the sleeve on a t-shirt, and then just pull it over his face, and then we all started doing that.
Yeah,
that's great. That's awesome. It the family aspect of it really strikes in that first episode. Like, like the family enabled it, even though they didn't really have a lot of money. They'd figure out how to do things the cheapest possible way, and they all rode board.
Well, they must have seen the Savant. Otherwise, like, because their parents seem pretty normal. Who knows? Because it is a movie. But they ripped them out of school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they must have seen, like, oh, this kid's different.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think most responsible parents are like, no, we need to, at least go to 8th grade.
He was making 6 figures by the time he was like, what? 15?
Did they show?
Well, he's a millionaire at 15 is what he said.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's exactly correct.
Was
but
it
it's totally
second
possible.
episode? Second episode? Because I shouldn't have watched it if we weren't all watching it. Like we talked about, they all meshed together now. I don't know when it stopped. Did they show him kind of separate from his family? Did you guys see that part?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
No.
So, yeah, no spoilers, but spoilers. The money part and family part become a big part of the story.
Interesting.
And I think they tease it in the first one where the mom talks about money a little bit and being his manager, but then it basically, at one point, he says, "Fuck it, and I need to spend my money." You know,
he said that a little bit. In the first
and then
one,
he started to push his mom out. His mom wasn't his manager anymore. He got a new manager, like a real manager. And then where I left off, he's kind of at that peak of, I think, financial success. And he even says it. He's like, "I got no friends. I got no girlfriend. I got no family now. Like, I eliminated anything that'll take me away from like snowboarding," which is also like sad. But that's, I mean, to be the absolute god of something. Yeah. I don't think you can have a healthy relationship in your partner and your wife and your family. Like, balance isn't a thing when you want an unbalanced result.
He was kind of like a Tiger Woods separation in golf, like Tiger's peak in golf. Like there was like he would win by like 10 strokes in a tournament,
maybe even more. When you think about like, because you're in it, so it maybe seems that way to you. But for me on the outside, like I can't name a single snowboarder.
No, nobody can.
And I can name a couple golfers.
I can name like some guys that I grew up watching in like DC videos, like like because like I was really into it, and I'd watch the video, like. But I can name like 5.
But
you
even
know what I mean, like, and they're not even around anymore.
Even
Shaun White's still snowboarding.
Yeah, or even like skateboarding. You got Tony Hawk, Ryan Sheckler made a push.
I can name 1,000 skateboarders.
Yeah, that too. But even me, I'm pretty equal fan for all this because I watched it. I like the X Games. I'd watch them every year. But like Rob Dyrdek, right? There's a handful of names that you can kind of throw in there with Tony. I can't name a single person in Shaun's world besides Shaun. Well, like his gap professionally. I don't know about pure skill wise, but his gap professionally.
Well, and skill at one point, like there was nobody even close.
The only other one I can think of, the only other reference I have is Michael Phelps. Yeah. Where I can't name another person professionally or skill-wise even close to the convo. And obviously I'm not a swimmer or a swimming fanatic, but that's why it's all equal in my eyes.
But it's also an Olympic sport, so it's kind of like the same ballpark.
Yeah.
And also like that time when he was 15, you're talking about him being a millionaire and how that's like kind of like, is he, what, like, that was like the peak of snowboarding. Snowboarding has like never been that big. It's
Yeah.
still like now it's like not even nearly that popular.
Yeah, it's
anymore.
lukewarm.
It's like very like it went like this and like we're down here.
You think
know,
that's
like,
based
snowboarding
on-
isn't really like that big.
Did-
People are still going, but it's like it became so unaffordable for the casual now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
was going
like
to say, or do you think that's based on personality? Because a lot of sports, I feel like, only go as far as the best person goes. Like skateboarding isn't what it is without Tony Hawk, right?
Mhm.
Popularity wise, snowboarding probably wasn't going to do it unless another Shaun White comes across.
Yeah, now and also like this is just like I'm sure in Japan maybe snowboarding's fucking massive because like right now like the kids that are winning all the Shaun White
Japan.
they're all and the same thing is happening in skateboarding now too.
Interesting.
Is these kids in Japan are just dominating these like footboard sports
Yeah.
right now, and like for us in the U.S. like I don't think we're still riding that high of like marketing because like it's these other countries that are kind of dominating
Yeah.
and their growth is over there now where I think we're more nationally the growth is going the other direction.
Yeah.
You know, it's like kind of like falling away from us because we don't have like the top guys anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That is interesting. Did the X Games stop for a bit?
It just ended. It just finished. And it was on.
Was there a gap in competitions?
think so.
Obviously pandemic
I
or
don't
something,
th-
but
I don't think so. I think
yeah, it's always gone.
It's just not as popular.
Yeah, because I know they tried to drag in esports. They did like
The
a
Do
Call
Tour.
of Duty thing for a bit, the Do Tour. The Do
Oh, the
Tour.
esports, yes. Yeah.
The esports too, but the Do Tour used to run by the state fair,
Yeah.
and I would go and watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, the X Games just ended. Like, here's the thing too, like think about skateboarding street, like Nigel got like third.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he's
Like
supposed to be our guy.
the top guy that won was this kid, I think he's pretty sure he's from Japan, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it used to be like it used to take over ESPN, and it was actually perfect, right? Because you're in the gap from basketball. Baseball's middle of the season, so isn't as exciting, and the NFL hasn't started. It would be like the perfect ESPN blast in the middle of summer.
Well, ESPN started it, so that's
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like it was a perfect schedule.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like it was like perfect.
I think that the extreme sports hype
Yeah.
it's not resonating with the new youth.
I wonder why that is.
I think because it's just kind of I don't know. I think it's just kind of phased out. Like this new generation doesn't give a shit about it as
Yeah.
much. They're not. Think about like just like those sports in general. Like a lot. Yeah, there's still like the kids that are skating because it is like a something that anybody can do anywhere, right? Like so. I think that it's also
Yeah.
more affordable.
Yeah.
It's more.
You buy a $100 board, you have it the rest of your life.
and you're good. If
Yeah.
you could make it last. For like snowboarding,
The
like
tricks I'm doing is
to even get on the mountain
right
and own a board.
for sure.
Say you want to go. I want to start sport. I don't have any gear,
Yeah,
and I want to snowboard tomorrow.
you got 2 tanks of gas back and forth. You got to find somewhere to stay. What's a board cost? 200, 300?
Oh, dude, no. Like for just the board without any bindings on it. If you're talking like average, good quality
Yeah.
board, $400.
All right, let's say we rent one, $100.
Okay,
whatever.
say you rent one. Yeah, okay.
$100.
Your
What's
lift
the-
ticket's gonna be $300.
I was gonna say, yeah. What's the lift
the
ticket?
day.
Yeah, so we're in a grand deep, food, hotel. Yeah, you're
and
a
you're not
grand
even
in.
talking about fucking clothes, bro.
And that is if you're lucky enough to live in Sacramento where you can drive a half hour. If you
How
got to
much-
fly,
you know how much a Burton snowboard jacket is?
yeah, I'm sure
$300,
$100.
$400.
Yeah.
You know how much the pants are?
Yeah,
$300-400.
yeah, you're gonna freeze.
You know
your
how much
tits
the
off.
boots are?
Yeah, you need goggles.
$200.
Yeah, you need goggles.
Bindings, $300.
Yeah,
Goggles, $300.
that is interesting.
You're talking about a $10,000 setup at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, skiing historically
it's like a golf
was,
bag.
Skiing historically was that, right? Like skiing was known as a rich white person sport,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
do you think snowboard just kind of took that over just because they knew the market was there, was pure business? Because no way that board's worth that.
Dude, the technology in these boards, though, dude,
Is it
like,
pretty
there's
good?
a lot of tech
More than
involved.
skateboarding.
Oh, 100%.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Especially like the way that they. So it's so funny. The shape of the snowboard now is the complete opposite of what it was, even when I was like into it. So now the park boards, they used to be like noses kind of up, and the middle was more flat. Now they build the street boards where the middle isn't touching the like almost the snow. It's almost like the complete opposite shape now.
Interesting.
So like there's like a lot of tech and like how
Yeah.
to make things pop better and how to like it's like a reverse concave. Kind
Oh,
of
so you get a little
situation.
spring out of it, maybe.
Yeah, it's like totally different now. Like they've literally done the opposite of what it was.
Interesting.
And only in the, let's say 15 years that like when I was really into it, when I was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in my, early 20s or like late teens or whatever.
Yeah,
And,
a decade.
yeah, over a decade. It's just like the completely different thing now. And they're only more expensive now.
Right.
And it's like, it's so, you have to have a lot of money to get into snowboarding.
And then
I-
stay in it.
and then stay in it. And I think this generation of like youth kids are just like they're not interested in
Yeah.
that. There's other things they can do now.
It makes sense. It does make sense. Something interesting I found about Shaun White is like early footage, like 12 years old to maybe even 18. He talks like the most stereotypical stoner, listens to Sublime, skateboards all day guy.
Yeah.
And then you see his other interviews, and it's like he just got like educated overnight. Now he's talking like, you know what I mean? Like he's a ESPN athlete. And obviously he had a million reps of being interviewed. And so like the later interviews when he's all clean cut, he's got like a quarter zip. He's crushing those interviews and speaking more normal. And he's dating Nina Dobrev or whatever, you know, who's in the same Hollywood vein, who crushes interviews and looks. It's just funny, like maybe that had to do with it too, right? Where like the early days of the sport were this grunge. Yeah. His hair looks different now. It's kind of like a preppy sport.
Yeah,
you know, like his goggles were Burton, and then there were Oakley, and then did you see the last ones?
Oh no, I don't.
Prada.
Oh, is he Prada? Oh yeah, you know, like a Prada clothes on. You're right.
Yeah. And then you're like, okay, so like this sport has kind of changed with him. He's kind of changed with it. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it like makes sense to where maybe snowboarding is now. If you're rocking Prada goggles that you're gonna smash doing 3 backflips, you're probably doing, you know, different things. And then what do all the kids want? They don't want to rip off the T and put it on his mask. They want a Prada mask.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's just a different era.
Well, there's like also like remember like the surf and skates and the all the skate shops?
Everywhere, bro.
Well, remember those?
Yeah, they were everywhere.
They were everywhere, and that a lot of their revenue came from like board sales of like snowboard gear. And like once that started to fall down, like they all disappeared.
Yeah, surf and skate I used to go to all the time because they had cool clothes and shit.
Yeah, they had it all.
What do you have now? Tilly's, I guess, is kind of their
they
replica.
Still have Tilly's, but I don't think they're selling snowboards there.
No, maybe a skateboard and mostly clothes.
Yeah, shoes and clothes and whatever trendy clothes or
yeah,
whatever popular is right now.
Sunglasses.
Yeah,
that is funny.
There are a couple of like major injuries that he sustains in the course of episode 1.
Gnarly.
And the craziest thing about it is that just like a human trait that we can watch something where we already know the outcome, and yet we're like our heart rate goes up and we're on the edge of our seat and we're like, oh, is he going to make it? It's like, well, I know he's alive because we saw him, you know, at the beginning of this thing in contemporary times, and we know he's okay, and we know it didn't affect his career or whatever, and we're still like, oh my God, he's so fucking injured.
Yeah. The pipe shit is like, it's so fucking gnarly.
I can't imagine.
Because like you're also vulnerable to this, like the conditions. Say like when everybody's launching off that ramp, like if it starts getting a little slick, you come off that, dude, and there's no.
It seems
it's not the same every time. Like a half pipe's the same every time. It's indoors. It's wood. You know what's gonna happen. It's like,
and obviously boards attached to you. It seems like skateboarding, because I watched a ton of the Summer X Games, not a ton of the winter, and all those guys are so good at landing safe. On skateboarding. I'd assume snowboarding just seems more dangerous. Like obviously the heights are similar-ish. You probably get a little more air on snow, but those guys just land perfectly. You know, they do the easy slide on their knees and they look like nothing ever happened. Where you didn't really ever see like a soft, cool landing on snowboarding. No, dude, like you're getting wrecked.
They get wrecked.
And you're getting flipped over. You're doing the pretzel deal.
Yeah.
Your spine.
Those are essentially concrete.
Yeah.
Those packed pipes like that, they're you know, you can't even put your fist in it. It's like hitting the ground.
You have to,
they're rock solid.
Because you'll eat shit.
If it's too soft, it's just going to break you off, and you're going to be, it's gnarly. Like, that shit is so gnarly.
Yeah, I had a couple kids I grew up with that were deep into snowboarding at the time. And I think one dude was making a run at the X Games. Like, he was super legit. And don't quote me on the story, but I think he tried to, like, jump a freeway. He started doing some of this crazy shit and landed in a bank and just, shattered his pelvis.
Dude,
And just, you know, I saw him when he was like 22. He's walking with a cane.
Yeah,
my God.
Yeah, once you lose your footing or your balance with one of those boards on, there's no contorting your body.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're gonna free fall, and however you just hope for the best.
Yeah. Try to not land on your head.
One of my friends in his late 40s, early 50s shattered his leg snowboarding.
Yeah.
Just like fell into a hole and just broke it off. Just like.
Skiing's just as crazy, right? I mean, they're doing the crazy shits too.
People just, die hitting trees. On,
Was there a president or something? I remember hearing as a kid. Somebody famous?
A lot of famous.
Sonny Bono.
Maybe that's it.
But then someone
hit a tree.
Someone recently just hit a tree that's famous and passed snowboarding or skiing. Like another really famous person.
Does that happen when you're?
If you Googled it, it'd probably pop right up.
Does that only happen when you're hunting the powder and shit, or will that happen to a casual?
Usually, if you're staying on if you're staying on the run,
You're not gonna die.
you're going to be fine because they're usually just very huge, like
Yeah,
football field wide. You know what I mean? And you're
Yeah.
just going down, and like you can still get fucked up.
But you're not dying.
But you're not going to hit a tree.
Yeah.
People that are hitting the trees are usually people that are going like in the back country,
Yeah.
and you're going like you go. Like, could you say you're going down the hill? Like, there's like little trails you can go off to the side, and like that people have like made, or going through the powder. But like that's when you can get.
Yeah.
That's when you.
Which
can
I
get fucked up.
understand that you're skilled enough, and now you want to go feel nature. I get that, but
And people suffocating and like dying, like because like so when the trees are getting snowed on, the trees like around the trunk, the snow doesn't go there, right? And then it kind of goes around the edges of
you
it.
a little trap.
So there's a hole that goes all the way down, but then it does get like a thin layer of powder on it. So if you get too close to those trunks, you just fall into that hole.
Yeah.
And if you fall head first,
Yeah. What
you're
you do?
fucked.
And now you got
Yeah.
shit trapped you. That's
and then
8
your
feet
feet
wide.
are stuck above you because
Yeah.
of the snowboard, and you can't
Yeah.
crawl yourself
You need a
out because
human
it's
to
just
pull
soft.
you.
You'd have someone to pull you out.
Yeah. I'm out. I don't do the snow. I do like cabins and coffee and shit, but I don't know about all that powder shit.
There's very safe ways of going about it.
Sure. 'Cause, yeah, if it was all that dangerous, it wouldn't be popular.
Yeah.
But tons of rich folk are going up there every weekend.
Yeah, it's just crazy now the prices, man. Like you used to be able to get a season pass, unlimited snowboarding for like $300 for a season.
Now it's like $300 a
That's
day.
what it costs to go to once. And you can still get a season pass. I think now they're probably like $500-700.
Yeah, yeah,
But like it used to be $300, and then like you could go 20 times. We'd skip school. We'd go.
yeah.
You
But
know?
like we talked about, like where are you going to stay? Because all these places are isolated and fancy and nice. You know, like even an Airbnb is going to cost you.
We would just like luckily living here, you drive,
drive.
an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
You come back the same day.
Yeah,
I also had buddies that worked at the resorts in the winter that were graduated already. You know, they all lived up there.
yeah, yeah.
And they had cabins. We'd stay there.
But even that, yeah. But as an adult,
Used to be affordable. You used to be able to like
Yeah.
rent. You used to be able to rent a cabin for like the season for like $1,200 a month. And you have 5 guys living in
Yeah, it'd
there,
be
like
cool.
working at the ski resort. It was like awesome.
I had a bunch of buddies that did that too. Yeah, they became instructors or even rental guys, and
Yeah,
they
you just work the fucking mountain.
yeah do seasonal work.
Yeah.
Kind of live the college dream.
Yeah.
And Shaun White never had to do that.
No, for sure
Obviously.
not.
No.
For sure not.
I mean, he got sponsored so early.
At the peak of it too, like that's when
Yeah.
all the money was coming in.
Yeah.
So Burton was probably giving him $1 million, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
He had pro board models, so he was getting a cut on his board sales, cut on his merch. You know, like he had.
And the timing does seem good because not only the popularity, but he wasn't the first guy to do it. So like Tony Hawk and these guys went that route. We talked about it in Air and some of the Nike stuff. Because if you're to get the first sneaker deal, you're gonna get fucked, right? They're not gonna give you royalties and all that. He probably came out at the perfect time to have the business was already set. They know how to take care of them and not screw them, and it's at its growing height.
Yep.
Yeah. So he probably balled out. What's
They
he doing
were-
now? He's probably 2 years older than us.
Yeah, he's about the same age. I think he's
Yeah?
about like around
Yeah,
that same
36,
age.
37 probably.
Yeah, I think.
And so what? He's just retired. A clothing company?
I'm sure he does. Yeah,
I'm sure the
I'm
documentary.
sure
will
they
dive into
still
it later.
sell. I'm sure they still sell Burton Pro model Shaun White
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, probably. But yeah, I'm sure the documentary will start to dive into that. That is interesting. And having a career, 3 Olympics? I think he did
Olympics.
3 Olympics, which is crazy. That's
And-
12 years.
And this one's all building up to 2022 Winter Games, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I assume was his last one.
Yeah, I believe that was.
Which
This was
was
last-
last year.
And I remember watching.
Which I don't even remember. Like what?
No.
I
happens.
watched it. I watched this particular part because I like Tony Hawk. I mean, not Tony Hawk. Shaun White.
Yeah.
Shaun White is the Tony Hawk of snowboarding. And I was actually. It was cool to see Tony Hawk in this documentary talking about Shaun White as a kid.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
pretty
I think when you get to that level at all, or in general, because it's not as flashy of a sport, although it may be expensive. So some of the athletes are more like digestible in a sense, and when like it sounds like when you met them, they're actually cool. And then
Yeah,
also
yeah.
when you're at the high level, I think it's even smaller than other sports, right? Because it is kind of a world sport. So if you get the top 5 Americans, they're probably all buddies. You know, it's not like basketball where there's 10,000 people that are all fiending to be in the NBA and they're all pretty good. They don't know each other's names, but they're going to be buddies.
Yeah,
You
that was
know?
interesting. But the little drama they talked about with those guys that did that expo,
Yeah, the little team.
and they were like, "Hey, let's just like all split the money and like not really try hard and just put on a good show." And Sean's like, "Fuck that, dude! I want all the money."
Oh, I thought you were talking about the little team that was against them when they're kids.
Oh no, I meant when he was like on that. They were touring.
Yeah,
pro.
yeah,
They were
yeah,
They were touring pro. There was like a demo or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it was,
yeah.
and like a
Like the Mountain Dew tour ish.
yeah. and there was like cash prize, and like he was kind of an outsider.
Yeah.
They're kind of getting into him being an outsider, like early in that,
making no
late
homies.
in that last episode.
Because in the next one, they basically go on to him having no life.
Yeah, and I remember like even before this documentary, like, even kids, like everybody, I always hear about how everybody hated Shaun White.
Interesting.
It's because he was kind of like, he won.
Yeah.
People hate a winner.
Yeah.
Right. Either you had love
a
or you hate him.
dominant.
And like even we were kind of haters too, right? We kind of liked the more niche guys.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like we were kind of haters too because he was like the commercial version.
Right. It's
right?
easy to cheer for him.
Yeah. Kind of like the Mahomes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too easy.
But I actually like.
No, Sean's personality is way better.
Yeah.
Mahomes sucks for many reasons. Sean only sucked because he was good.
Yeah. So that was interesting. I didn't expect that.
Do you, maybe it was the second episode, but do you remember that there was like a team that was on the up and coming when he was a kid? They had like a van. There's like 5 guys. I forgot the name. But there's like this group that started to like, their whole goal was to beat him. And there were 5 friends. And Sean mentions like, damn, I was waiting for my invite to be on this cool little team. And they never invited me. And he's like, that was my next fuel. Maybe that's the second episode.
Maybe that's like kind of, they were kind of going into that,
yeah,
I think, at the end of the
there's this group of like kids that were up and comers, and they were living the mega like fucking snowboard life, renting a 1-room cabin, all staying together. And he's like, oh, that's cool, and he wanted to be their buddy, and he just never got the invite. So maybe that's like a little bit of like why he had a villain arc, because I think it was when he was younger. It was like 16, 17, 18. The cool kids didn't want to be friends with him, so then he just said, all right, fuck it, I will be the lone wolf.
Yeah.
Just whoop everyone's ass.
Yep.
All these guys, kind of like the Arnold thing, they all like, and obviously it's all scripted, so who knows, right? And it's edited, but he goes into, and I think it's more the second episode, but he goes, and the first episode he mentions it, but like each area he has like a certain like chip on his shoulder, and he knows why, how he has this chip on his shoulder, and then he has like a certain goal every single time, and that's like a string I see with all this shit, you know, like. Even Kirk Cousins, you know, like he mentions little things like, oh, my architect, you know, put this area for the trophy. Now I'm going to go get this trophy. You know, like all these guys are just wired a little bit different. They're very intelligent people. Like to be a quarterback in the NFL is insane. And even Shaun White, right? Because he has to like figure out a new move. Like that's insane creativity.
That's
in
a
your
lot
brain.
of pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of good brain power. An idiot can't do that.
No.
But when you break down what drives them, they're very like caveman. He pissed me off. Gold medal. I go.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Very primal.
It's just simple, right?
Yeah.
That guy sucks. He, you know, he's mean. I go win that.
Yeah.
To get back at him.
Yeah.
Or my mom wasn't there. I go win this to get back at her. I don't have any of that.
Yeah. I guess that's why we're not like them.
Unfortunate.
He's currently 36. He was born in 86.
Yeah, I knew
There
he was
we go.
around
So
our
he'll
age.
be
It's a little bit older. Yeah, you're right on it.
Yeah, he'll be 37 in September.
Talk about like, you know, is the looks, like the mom looked older in the footage than she does now. She's got a lot of work done.
Yeah, the money.
Sean's mom.
The money.
When
Yeah,
you put your face in the
apparently she was-
shop and
Yeah. His dad was
Apparently.
cool. His family seemed cool.
yeah.
You know, the dad seemed cool. The sister, everyone crying and
He
shit.
bought his mom the car. That was cool.
Yeah, it
The
was really
Lexus.
cool. Yeah, give him a
That
big
part.
hug.
They had
Yeah,
like those gym lockers in the garage. I was like, oh, that's old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the story with the family does make it just so relatable. You know, they're just like a regular ass family. Mom's a server, she said.
They were like living out of the van. Like they were like gypsies.
Yeah, they were. But
Well-
if they loved it, yeah, it is cool. It is kind of like a moral of the story thing, you know, like you ain't got to have all the money, but if you got the family, you know, you're
It's
kind of
just
locked in. It's kind of American dream in some sense.
Well, it's just like, dude, like imagine, like, I couldn't imagine being that free of like, and just living life.
Yeah.
Like with my family. Like, I mean,
Yeah, but
I
what
couldn't
if
even
Brock makes
imagine
$1
that.
million in 10 years?
Even before he was making money, though, they were kind of living
It's true.
like that.
It's true.
You know what I mean? But yeah,
Did the dad say what he did? I know the mom said waitress.
I think they said he had a blue collar job. He's like construction or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, something
So
like
they
that.
might have done okay. Because like everyone's idea of rich and middle class and stuff's all fucked. In the 90s, if you're working a good construction job, you're living okay.
Even now, a good blue collar job.
Now it's more than before.
Yeah, you're
Plumbers
you're,
are making
You're
millions.
doing fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you go to like, that's the funny thing is like, man, if you want like a safe cush life,
Electrician or plumber.
go to a trade school for
Yeah.
2 years, and they get you a job
Yeah, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
6 figures.
in a field, and you're
Yeah.
gonna be making 6 figures.
Yeah,
out
and
that
then you
rapids.
work your way for 10 years, get a reputation, build your own company, you're a millionaire.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the route for sure.
like that's definitely the easier route.
Because no one's doing it.
Yeah, no one wants to do it.
All my guys that are like a bunch of homies that are linemen. They're doing electricity stuff. Yeah, they're doing great. It's hard.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not saying it's easy.
No one's.
But
saying
it's a
that.
path.
But it's a path. And
It's a built path. It's a guaranteed path.
It's a guaranteed path that requires discipline and you actually like have to follow through with it.
Great, crazy hours, hard work, but there's an answer.
Yeah, and
Where like college, there's no answer.
no.
It used to be.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like my point, and I think your point too. It's like, yeah, I mean, like, there's a direct line of like getting out of situations,
For sure.
and you can go to a trade school, and you can get a loan to go to a trade school, and you'll pay that fucking loan off pretty fairly quickly.
Yeah, a year.
because those aren't that expensive
No.
comparatively to like going to some random college to get some random degree that you're not going to use, and then
For sure.
it's just like,
And some of them might not even need it. So you might be able to get a mentorship or some shit.
yeah,
Just work for free.
yeah.
So currently, he's in a business with his brother called White Space, and they make.
I don't know if that's flying.
I don't know. I don't know. They make snowboards.
Oh,
It's
cool.
Making some snowboard and
Oh, so he's got his
and
own
clothing.
brand now.
Yeah, he's got his own brand now.
Oh, board, so no more Burton.
Bye-bye, Burton.
Apparently, no more Burton. But the crazy thing is that he's had a sponsor since he was 7. They didn't really say that in that first episode.
They did talk
I
about
think it
Burton.
was Burton.
Yeah,
They
but
Started making
they said
kids
right
boards for him.
Yeah, they said right as he won his first competition that Burton was opening a kids line.
7.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just phenomenal. And I'm sure that all that stuff made a lot of the family stuff a lot more possible.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know if it's the second episode or not, but the mom talked about never spending that money,
Yeah.
you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there must be something second episode.
Yeah, cuz the mom talks about not she even admits, and she does it with a giggle, but how bad she was with money and wouldn't let him spend it. And then that's
scared
where
of losing it all.
yeah, both. I think for her own sake that she was frugal
Mhm.
and his, and then that's where a split starts to happen in the family a little bit.
In 2009, Forbes magazine estimated that he had earned $9 million from his endorsements in 2008.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, because he's such a
Jesus.
household name.
So in 2008, he was what, 22?
Yeah, and that's no competition money, only sponsors. Who knows what businesses he was already investing in or on the back end.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, 22 years old, $8 million in the bank in 2000.
Oh yeah, it's big.
That back then, that's like having like
30.
30 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. 20.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Um,
I'm excited to see where this one goes.
Yeah,
yeah.
I might watch a few.
I will. I'll probably watch the rest of it. I liked this one considerably better than the quarterback one.
Oh yeah.
This-
Also more interested in this one
This one feels
as far as characters.
and
Yeah.
it feels more vloggy. It feels more old school documentary.
Yeah,
You know,
and
less
it-
produced. It
I-
feels like you're getting all this footage you've never seen before.
Yeah.
With the other one, it feels like you're watching a Sunday special leading to a Super Bowl. You know,
Yeah.
it's different styles for sure.
It feels like a package,
Yeah,
like a roll-in package of bio on
yeah,
3 quarterbacks, whereas this one is a summation of a career.
yeah, and obviously a full lifetime
Yeah.
rather than one season.
Yeah, and they bounce around a lot. I mean, it's the first episode has a chronological like backbone, but they jump back and forth in time to make
Yeah.
connections between
Second,
things
they
that
do the
happened
same.
when he's younger and when he's older.
Yeah, second they do the same. I think the general
Is-
timeline is leading up to the new Olympics,
Yeah.
and then you're explaining reasons why things are going on in certain ways.
Yeah, it was done differently,
Yeah,
but in a good way.
a little bit Last Dancey.
Yeah,
Last
Yeah,
Dancey,
okay,
I
you're
feel
right.
like kind of started that. And the best part of Last Dance is that the genius of going back and forth is each episode has a theme. So is the theme teammates in Rodman, is the theme Jordan College, but it's still it's chronological that bounces. Yeah, I feel like that maybe set a precedent for the theme of the style of this one.
Last Dance, was that Netflix or was that HBO?
I thought it was ESPN, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's on Netflix now. Oh, it might be a Netflix original. I forgot. No, I think it was ESPN. But ESPN must have a tie with them, you know, doing all this sports shit. I feel like it's probably locked in now.
Well, ESPN's owned by Disney.
Oh,
Yes.
You're right. Yeah, but it's so
for how
weird
much
now.
longer?
Yeah, and it's so weird now. Like what just came out this week? Everything's so weird. So Disney also owns Nat Geo, right?
Yeah,
Nat
it's all the
Geo's
Shark Week.
Yeah, but you go to HBO,
You're right. Yeah,
they have Momoa for Shark Week.
you're right. Maybe there's more of a tie-in with Disney and HBO.
Yeah, there's a bunch of weird ends somewhere on the
You're
business
right.
end because Shark Week launched on both. I was so confused.
Yeah, and then also like, what's it called? It's already on. Transformers is already on streaming.
Yeah, but you got to buy, no?
I think you can watch it for free on Paramount.
Oh,
maybe.
I ain't got Paramount.
I'd
I'd like to watch it though. I heard it was
which
actually.
I think is.
I heard in the scheme of things it wasn't that bad.
I like fucking Transformers, man. So
Yeah.
I got no complaints.
I wish Megan Fox was there, but
Yeah, that's also speaking of Megan Fox.
I would love to.
Me and my wife, have been watching our junk nighttime show. We've been started over Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh
Never
my
seen
God.
it.
The
Obviously know
OG
it.
one from
Yeah.
the early 90s.
Yeah.
And like one of the kids on there, the youngest one that does like the DJ, the school like DJ, like what's it called?
It's Brian Austin Green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's Megan, that's baby mama.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
All their kids is the guy from 90210 or whatever.
I didn't know that.
Her boys, her 3 boys,
I
right?
do
They're all
like
with Brian Austin Green.
Yeah, I think so.
But he was like a smaller character in that show. He wasn't like
Did he have a success after? I assume.
I don't think so.
Not a ton.
That show went on for like 10 or 12
Yeah,
seasons.
he made a bank for sure.
And then they did that reboot in like early like 2008.
I think
They did a
it
reboot.
might still be going.
The
Is
reboot.
it?
Yeah, I think maybe.
I've never
so.
seen any of them, but I remember it.
And the
What's her
guy did
name
all the
is-
Sharknado movies. The blonde guy.
Yeah. Oh my God, what's his name? It's not pronounced the way it looks like it would be. What the fuck is his name? Ian.
Yes.
Yes.
That guy.
You read Ian, say Ian.
Yeah. He's he's still going. And then one guy passed away.
Luke.
Luke.
Yeah.
A lot of them have one of the girls has cancer. A lot of them got sick.
Shannon
90210.
Shannon
folks?
Doherty
Yeah.
is dying of breast cancer. I
Yeah.
Damn.
But anyway, what I was getting at with that show though, besides the fact that the Brian Austin Green connection, the stories are really good. The TV was just better.
I told
Man.
you I'm watching Home Improvement for my sleepy time.
That's fair.
It's such a good show.
That's fair. Same era.
Makes
right?
me giggle every single time.
It's like, oh man, these like life lessons and these stories
Yeah.
are real. Like what are like this? Like I didn't realize how like serious that show kind of got. The 90210. It was like this one girl, like was basically like her mom's like friend more than like a mother, and she was like mom was like a cokehead, and she was like sleeping around. Like it was like
Yeah.
and it was like. But it was like more like about the girl and like what that has to what kind of effect that has when the child has to become like the parent. So
Yeah, which is
it's like,
sadly
well,
a
this is
real life
fucking-
situation.
This is heavy. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
real. It was the show
Kelly's
was
mom?
the blonde girl
Kelly.
Kelly, her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like had to go back to like AA or NA. Like she had to go
shit.
back. Like it was like she like relapsed. It was about like her relapsing.
Yeah, it's like shit that happened in real life, but people wouldn't talk about. So then the
Yeah.
show's going to talk about it.
I didn't realize that shows got that deep
Yeah.
like back then.
I mean, that's like the joke, but real about Fresh Prince, right?
Yeah.
They're covering like yeah, it's like this made up story of this ghetto kid and this rich family, but then they're the stories within the weaving. Like, you should just talk to Uncle Phil and just tell him. You know, like there's always some like truth in like, yeah, you should just talk to him, or money stuff, or yeah, you scratched your dad's car, like all real life shit.
Yeah. They just don't really the new shows nowadays are just not like that. Now they're all about vampire kids and about they're not like realistic. They're
Yeah,
not real
I don't even
problems
know.
anymore.
I don't even know what a real show is.
I don't think they exist anymore.
Yeah.
I guess they're all just like fantasy.
Yeah.
There's no real shows anymore.
No, that's for sure. Yeah, we got too bored with reality.
I've been watching Cheers.
Cheers, another
Before I go
classic.
to
Old
bed.
one?
Yeah.
That's kind of been our before bed shows.
It's a good before bed. But they're so well crafted.
Yeah.
They're really funny. They're super tight.
Mm-hmm.
They're shot well. I mean, when something like that happens now, it's prestige TV. Everyone's shocked.
Mm-hmm.
But it used to be the norm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm getting at as a whole. It's like, yeah, that's like, man, TV was just done. Think about how much money it cost to shoot an episode of Cheers.
Yeah.
They don't go anywhere.
Yeah, zero.
Yeah, they seldom go anywhere. Live audience.
Same with Seinfeld, right? There's 3 locations,
Yeah.
whether they're real or a set.
Yeah,
A
most
little
of
bit
them
of
were
B-roll.
shot in the whatever studio,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
around the studio.
Yeah, in his apartment and then in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh.
They did some exteriors in Boston, but like I've walked past where it was.
Yeah,
but,
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, now there's like 2 fake bars. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got like the stock images from Seinfeld in New York, like
Yeah,
the
that
pictures.
restaurant. I've been to that restaurant.
Yeah, like but the actual like it never wasn't shot inside.
No,
that
it's,
restaurant.
No.
it's
It
different.
actually looks nothing like
Yeah.
that on the
It's
inside.
decent though. I've had it.
Really?
Yeah, I got a little
You
omelet.
gotta take a picture in front of that sign.
I did.
for sure.
It's
Yeah,
lit.
iconic.
Yeah, and I got the little omelet. It's solid.
Did you get the big salad?
No, they see.
Seinfeld
It's-
joke.
I think they do have Seinfeld jokes on the menu,
Really?
but I don't know if they go that deep.
All right. We should rate this thing.
Rate them on corkscrews or something. What's the triple he
It
threw
was
down?
the triple cork.
The triple cork?
McTwist? The
McTwist is skateboarding, and then they took it.
Well,
Yeah.
I think they use the same names. Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's go with McTwists. How
All
many
right.
McTwists you got? It sounds like a McDonald's churro.
Yeah, it does. They have those.
Do they?
Yes.
I know Taco Bell has those little like
Those are
hard
still,
churros.
Those are still fire because they're warm.
The hard ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it called?
Cinnamon twist.
Oh, cinnamon twist. Yeah, it's literally just like a chicharron meets fucking churro.
I had Taco Bell for the first time in a long time the other night.
It's good. I haven't had it in a long time.
There's literally like one fast food spot by my house and it's a brand new Taco Bell. So like,
Worth it.
dude, the $5 craving box, dude, what a fucking steal! You get those, twists.
I like
you
that.
get a hard taco, a 5-layer burrito, and like a chalupa.
Oh, that's a meal.
And a drink, and the
For
thing for
$5.
$5.
Holy crap!
I'm going to Taco Bell.
Yeah, right after this.
Shout out Taco Bell. I'm gonna give this 4.
Yeah,
Solid 4.
4
Yeah.
McTwists?
4 McTwists. I love it.
I might do the same. Maybe I'll give it a 3.9.
Okay.
Just to equal out with my football guy was like a 3.7, 3.8. Yeah, 3.9. I liked it. I think it's still just like a disconnect for me in single-person sports. There's something in my brain that doesn't connect as much. And although Shaun White's really cool, there's nothing that like screams, I love Shaun White to me.
Yeah.
I like him. I think he's cool. I think his dedication to the sport's cool. But same with Tony Hawk. You know, there's nothing that like screams like, I love Tony. I relate so much to Tony.
Oh, Tony.
Yeah, no, I ain't got any of that in me. But it's shot well. It's cool. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes footage you've never seen, for sure, which makes the documentary cool, obviously. If you just see ESPN clips, it's not fun. So, yeah, it's cool.
I'm gonna say 4 as well. I will say that it's probably, not having seen the whole thing, it's probably too long because all of these are too long. All of them.
Yeah.
Everything could be cut down.
Yeah.
Because I think that they fall in love with their own, you know. It's like, I have this really cool footage. I want to use this. It's like, well, it doesn't really work. It looks cool, but doesn't, you know. This particular, that's not a good example of this particular show. But they make these commitments. They sign contracts to do X number of episodes, and so they feel like they have to do that many episodes.
Yeah.
But other than that,
it's all money.
I liked it. I liked it nearly as much as the Tony Hawk that we watched.
Yeah, the Tony Hawk was good, too.
It was really good. I don't know. I think the thing I feel about individual sports, because like powerlifting is an individual sport. This goes back to what you were saying earlier. I never thought about like winning or whatever. I just thought about the performance itself. It's like how will I do, and if I fuck up, like how will I handle it on the platform or whatever. And it's the same kind of thing with like if you're a singer or if you're an actor or whatever. I mean, you might have a bunch of people around you, but it really comes down to your own personal performance.
Yeah, how you handle it.
These
sports are funny in particular because they are like a mix of obviously athleticism, like contorting your body through air, but it's still like figure skating, like it's still art.
Yeah,
It's
like
more of a
gymnastics.
performance. Yeah, it's more of a performance than a sport per se.
Yeah.
It's like a performance competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole rabbit hole.
Yeah. I've gotten a fight. Shout out my boy Anthony.
I've been in this conversation.
I got a
with you
fat
few
debate.
times.
Yeah, with me.
Yeah, we've debated like
Yeah.
sport and.
I went deep with my buddy who's a professional dancer, and I was just saying dance isn't a sport. And I understand how people get mad at that because they want to be part of a sport. But to me, being part of a sport doesn't elevate things. I'm not saying basketball's up here because it's a sport. I'm just saying it's more like a sport. We got the scoreboard. The standardization is way more clear. And to me, I think that's the key.
it's not left to a judge.
It's more standardization. It's more standardization. And so, yeah, like there's clear black and white rules.
But there's the problem, the argument also. It's like, yeah, there's some that are like, here's the score, here's how you win, do this. But then you have other involvement like referees.
For sure.
And then you start getting into like, oh, that's the same thing as like a judge.
Close. I don't think it is.
No.
'Cause
tell it to the Kings.
Yeah, because the judge, because the ref isn't making their judgment calls based on a black and white rule.
Some of the times the rules are
Yeah,
hairy,
sometimes
especially
not.
football.
Yes.
I don't know if they're hairy.
Football rules are hairy.
I think making the call is hairy. I don't think the rules are hairy. Rules are very black and white and all.
But I think
getting
the enforcement's subjective.
I feel like
that's why I said the enforcement's hairy, but the rule is not hairy.
Yeah.
They're written like law. Like I used to literally study NC2A basketball rule books because then because I was the guy talking to the ref all day making friends, and so I wanted to talk his lingo, and I said, hey man, that's crazy, but you know when my feet are planted this way, and I would always come at the refs like that and make friends. Some of them loved me, some hated me, and I don't know how judges in snowboarding does unless a McTwist performed perfectly is always a 9.0, then the rules are subjective.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding rules are subjective as fuck. It says have good vascularity. What the fuck?
What does that look like?
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't say 3 veins per inch. Basketball says 2 feet facing 90 degrees, taking a charge. You got to be there before,
Some vascularity is really ugly too, by the way.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of aesthetic.
Yeah, especially in pro bodybuilding. But I think my bigger point is that people, for some reason, want to be a sport. Why can't it be an athletic competition? Why is that a bad thing?
It was like MMA a sport.
Yeah, I think it's more
Yeah.
clear cut.
I think that's
Even though the judging, you're right, is more
But it's also
loose.
a performance of like your skill.
No, it is, and I don't really care. And fighting might even be its own thing. And the judges there are a big deal. If you don't knock out or submit, then the judges are more gray area than snowboarding.
I wouldn't hate to see more real scoring. Like a jab is worth half a point.
I don't know
or
why they're
something that
still
lands.
using boxing judges.
Well, the whole thing's like, dude, look at
Like MMA's it's bigger than
yeah, it's bigger.
It's not bigger than boxing, but it's big as fuck
Oh.
now.
I feel like it is bigger than boxing now.
I don't know. The money's still flowing from somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Old Vegas.
Yeah,
money laundering.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Either way, I guess my biggest argument is I still don't understand why people are insulted by saying athletic competition, because that's what I call dancing. I said, well, it could be competition, and it's athletic as fuck. You can argue you're more athletic than Jordan. I don't even. That doesn't hurt my feelings. But to call it a sport just feels weird to me.
I like cheerleading.
Yeah, that's the exact same
They
as
call it
figure
a
skating.
sport, but it's performance
Poker.
poker.
Poker's weird too, right? And then the athletics, and people are like, well, define athletics. I'm like, well, there is a definition for athletics. It's typically like run, jump, agility, hand-eye coordination. Like, well, where are we in poker?
None of that.
Right? The NASCAR one. The NASCAR one's a big argument.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can say it's harder than basketball. I'm not arguing it's not harder. But like, why are you so tied to be sport? I'm not saying you're not an athlete. I've never said people aren't athletes either, but people get so particular about that. It's a sport. Is esports a sport? Probably not. It's an esport. They made their own category because they know I'd bash them.
They do have their own name.
But that's very, like, esports is very much like NASCAR.
Like race sports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fighting sports.
Yeah, fight sports. I
Yeah,
guess they
that's
already
fine.
do have their own.
They tried.
niche.
Yeah,
We just
they
don't use
say
it.
combat sports. They do say combat sports.
Combat sports.
I don't know
think-
about races.
I think there is something like I think it is like race sports. I
That's
think
gonna
that
be
is a
weird in
thing.
2023.
think
We
that is a
got
thing.
what's the white company? We got the white company in race sports.
White space.
White space.
White space and race sports.
I don't know.
Where's the collab?
I don't know where we at. NASCAR Shaun White collab called White Space White Race.
White race sports.
Fast and Furious Race Wars
Yeah,
from episode 1 of Fast and Furious Race Wars.
yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
race wars makes more sense than fucking sport racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Where can
Work-
people?
yeah, hit them, Dean. Where can they find you?
At Caffeine Kilos if you down to pick up some coffee, some merch, or deansaddoris.ck.
The Journey to Nationals.
The Journey to Nationals. Masters Nationals. That's not.
You don't gotta throw it in there.
Yeah, I'm a Masters now.
White Space Nationals.
Yeah, White Space Nationals. I'm embracing my national or my Masters.
You should get
my new Masters
what is it?
path.
35.
So yes.
Powerlifting, I think it's 40.
So as a master, you can compete if you're 34, you can compete as a master, even though it's not till 35. If it's in the year that you turn 35.
Should I do it?
Yeah.
The qual's got to be not crazy, right? Weightlifting.
It's considerably lower than the regular. Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. Say I'm a national level weightlifter before I'm a national level powerlifter.
Yeah. I think for my weight class, I could qualify with 70 kilos less than I qualified for senior.
That's just what I need.
Yeah. Senior
I
nationals.
might can clean a jerk 315. That'll get me there somehow, right?
Yeah, easily.
That would be kind of cool. Maybe
what weight class would you be? How much do you weigh?
I could get into 90s kilo.
There's an 89.
Yeah,
It goes
that's a
81,
little light,
89.
but I could find my way to 89.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. I probably won't do it, but it would be cool to qual for and compete in powerlifting, weightlifting nationals.
Same
year. And it would be both my first nationals. I've never been to nationals.
That'd be cool.
I could do
You
it.
should do it.
Powerlifting nationals are a bitch now, bro. The quals are way high, and then be clicking on that button like they're Jordan 1s. You can't get in. You can't get in. So many people
like
qual.
the sign ups.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So are we going to keep using the term masters because apparently we don't have master bedrooms anymore?
No, because
that's racist.
I think it's a different master background.
I don't know.
No, well, here's
the
the
origin
thing.
of the phrase.
Yeah.
master bedroom
Yeah.
didn't appear until 1925, way past when slavery was abolished. There's no connection at all. None whatsoever.
I mean, I don't know why
And
you're yelling
yet-
at me. I'm not the
Oh,
one
no,
that
I'm
makes
not-
the rules.
Well,
I'm not yelling.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
If you
Yeah.
watch any house show on Netflix or any Selling Sunset, it's all very deliberately no more using that phrase.
Yeah, that's what we were
So
talking about in the last
crazy.
podcast. Yeah.
So
That is
crazy.
primary.
I don't understand.
primary. Yeah, I don't. So I didn't know that about the 1925 thing. I just assumed that, and I also was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it made sense to me too.
But also now it doesn't. Again,
Yeah, it doesn't
Now
make
it's
any
back to
sense to
not
me at
making
all.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
because-
We have to eliminate that word everywhere or nowhere. Let's
I'm with
just
you
be,
on that.
Yeah.
I could care less.
Yeah, it's also just
Like, it doesn't hurt me to say primary.
But the
either.
problem, it doesn't. But it's also just like, where does it end?
For
Exactly.
sure.
That's my point.
No, I think there's way worse cases of where it doesn't end than this.
Oh, that's probably true, but like
I think.
that's my
I think.
I'm
Wife,
not a slippery slope guy either. I just think it's dumb.
I think it's worse to say, "Oh, can you grab my wife beater shirt?"
No, wife beater's bad. Wife beater's not great.
I saw people on TikTok calling it a wife lover shirt.
Yeah, I heard another one.
Swear to God, I heard that.
Yeah, I heard another one.
Wife lover.
I
You
don't
got?
know.
Oh, I'm gonna. It was like someone that does outfits. Like, oh, I'm gonna pair this loose fit
Wife lover.
shirt with a wife lover, and I'm like, okay, that's happening now.
Yeah, I don't know.
A shirt. Just say
internet.
a shirt.
A tank. How about a tank top?
Yeah,
Tank
tank
top.
works. What do they call them in Australia? Jerseys.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Jersey's
Which is
good.
sick.
Yeah, I think jersey's good.
I want to.
Anything with a thin strap should be a jersey.
No, that's all. Me and you and everybody
Yeah.
in this room. That's
Yeah.
all we're calling
Jersey's
them now.
good.
Yeah.
We're just gonna start calling them jerseys.
I don't even wear them,
Just
but it
confuse the
makes
fuck
sense.
out of everybody.
Search and replace.
Then what's a real jersey? Like a soccer jersey? Now
That's
we're
called a
fucked.
uni.
Oh, that is called
Yeah.
a uni.
Yep. Yeah, I got my uni.
But then
and-
I think if you're wearing like the suit style at the Catholic school, that's also a uni.
yeah,
We're gonna have some gray areas.
yeah. I guess maybe they call it something else. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, new episode Wednesday, Friday. Check out our apparel, good company apparel, 3sb.co. And I'm Solid Mike. Where you want to find me? I'll catch you on the next one.
I am at the Jim McDonald on all the social media. This show is 50% facts, where percent is a word. 50 is just numbers. 50% facts is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the Obscure Celebrity Network.